right,
I'm
marketologist,
I'm
we are
giving you
on.
I'm I'm giving you permission to record.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are recording, and we are just going to let you get back in our conversation that we're having. I am talking with Yuval, the air doctor, and we're talking about, right now we're talking about ads, what goes, what doesn't go, how to get by being banned, who gets banned, who doesn't get banned. But, this is a great conversation. I know y'all will enjoy. Air doctor, he helps companies out there, and he's in a very interesting space because his space, like we were talking about with supplements and supplements versus medicine versus everything else, drugs versus everything else, and how it's considered, it's very interesting. But he's been doing it for several years and has several experiences when it comes to marketing a business that deals in that type of space. So thank you so much for coming on, and give us a little bit of background about, because I know I've batched up and butchered the whole history and background, but give us a little bit more insight about the air doctor.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. First, thank you for inviting me here on the show, and for other listeners. I mean, the conversation that we were having up until now was a great one. So hopefully we can keep that going. A little bit of background about me. I've been in the marketing industry for about 15 years now. I run a company called Cool Cat Digital, and we have several marketing clients. Of course, I also do the marketing for Air Doctor, as you mentioned before, Jeff, and that is a great startup that's really taking a huge leap into the travel and health sector. And like you mentioned also, I have Vita Sciences that does supplements, and I've been doing this quite a while. And we were just speaking about the ads and the ad wars, and I want to get back into this because I think it's a very interesting conversation. But these huge platforms, right, that are based off of ads, right, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and everyone, they are making life so hard for us to advertise on. I mean, I've been banned myself for ads. I'm selling the product Air Doctor, and Air Doctor basically connects travelers, international travelers, to local doctors all over the world. And of course, I want to advertise out there that if anyone is abroad and feeling a little bit under the weather, or if they're injured, they can use us to find a doctor that speaks their language, that can come to their home or their hotel. And I put an ad up, and it had a woman, and I think this woman had a short shirt. I think it was cut right there on the shoulder, and it was banned for sexually explicit material. Can you believe that, Jeff?
I mean, I understand. I've had the same thing for a dermatologist, and all it was a shoulder shot and a face shot of her getting her skin cleansed. And same thing. And it's like, if that's sexual, then you've got mental problems, because that's literally a face shot. I mean, I don't get it.
I love your terminology. Yes, these people have mental problems if they think that that's the case. And of course, there's the algorithms behind that, they trigger something, right? They see a woman without a shirt, they'll trigger it. But then there has to be someone on the backside that looks at these ads. These ads are automatically banned. I've had these bans. After I appeal them, they continue to be banned. And there's no specific reason for this in the world. I mean, if you go on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, or LinkedIn less for this matter, but you'll see almost pretty much naked people dancing around with the most explicit material that you can ever imagine, that you wouldn't want your children to see ever. And that's fine because it's organic. But if you want to pay to do something actually that helps people and that helps the world, you're going to be banned because of whatever nonsensical reason, like sexually explicit content, or one of my other clients, so we want to advertise supplements like B12. You should take B12, it's good for you, it's healthy for you. No, you're trying to sell drugs to people.
And
you're
it's
trying
so
to intoxicate them.
It's so funny because even on the organic, there's accounts that get banned, and and you're like, what? Like, okay, so I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of the context. So today, one of my Instagram accounts got banned. It's an Instagram account I don't even post on. I haven't posted on for like a month, and I got banned today for some guideline violation, which you don't know what it is because I haven't done anything. So that's probably why they banned me, because I haven't done anything in so long. They're like, we're gonna ban you for lack of use. But anyway, it's amazing how certain people get banned and certain people don't. So in the comments, if you've been banned, this is your time to go ahead and share your experience of how you were banned. But getting back to what we were talking about, it's so interesting how you will go and you will see people clearly breaking the rules in a sense, and getting by, and then others that are trying to do the right thing and trying to provide something of value, right? Of value, and they get banned. I remember one time that wasn't really being banned, that was just a troll. But he tried to report me for affiliate marketing. Yes, it was an affiliate link. Yes, I stated it was an affiliate link. But first of all, they're not paying more. They're actually getting a discount by using the link. I wasn't trying to coerce or manipulate them into buying something. It was something that was truly valuable. Like you said, if you're traveling and you get injured and you need to find a doctor, that's of true value. And if I was to run across something like that and share it with an audience and say, hey, this is a great service, but yet you're willing to compensate me for the word of mouth referral, then it's a win-win-win. Your company wins, the person that uses it wins, and I win for sharing it with that person. So there's no, I would say, moral or ethical, what's the word? Violations with doing that. But because of that, he's like, oh, this should be taken down. This post should be taken down because it's an affiliate. And it's like, really? But here's the thing. When I reverse engineered and went to his, he's selling all kind of stuff. He just promoting all kind of stuff. So where is that line to say, look, we are getting a little bit too sensitive. And like you said, instead of having a robot, an algorithm, that probably the lady that you used was so pretty, they were like, yeah, she's too pretty. This got to be sexual, to say, look, this is not, I mean, if it's a company that deals with image, whether it's dermatology, whether it's modeling, if it deals with image, you're going to have pictures of people and you're going to have pictures of attractive people. Now, how they're positioned is one thing. But like I said, if they're not turned around like this, then what's the problem?
And I agree with you. And then I think the most important thing to know or understand going into these ads, whoever's doing them for the first time, or even people that are doing them for years, it's before you spend tens of thousands of dollars creating a video that you think is genius and it's hilarious and it's funny, it gets to the point and it's going to sell your product, just think about the script for a moment and what images you're going to place there. Because I've been there. I've had a video I spent about $15,000 to $20,000, and it was an animation film, and that also got banned for, I don't remember now if it was sexually explicit or something else, but it was like these crazy motives, crazy intentions that aren't true, which I wasn't selling, but then it takes a huge amount of time to fight them, to appeal them, and sometimes it's not a straightforward appeal. Sometimes you really have to appeal a few times, talk to them on the phone, and it's just hours and hours of time, and this, sadly enough, has to be taken into account. And part of what we were speaking before about, Jeff, is, maybe not only create these ads for the purpose of sponsoring them and having paid ads, but like we mentioned, having them be viral right? Which is really hard
Yeah.
to create a viral video is insanely hard. But if it's
Yeah.
viral and it goes organic, then it's fine. Then there's like no rules and everything
Yeah.
goes.
And the interesting part about going viral is most of the things that go viral are usually against guidelines. I mean, the things that usually go viral are usually sexual, usually violent, usually, the things that go viral usually are against most of the guidelines, but they go viral organically.
That's what attracts people, right? I mean,
yes.
Following the rules doesn't attract people.
That's so true. But one of the points that you mentioned that's very interesting is the appeal process. It's gotten better because before you had to pretty much go on a quest to try to find out any way of contacting the company. And then they send you to a community forum and it was just a headache. Now when you're working with larger clients, you have a contact, you can pick up the phone and call somebody. But the smaller clients, it became a quest. So they've gotten a little bit better with, the appeal process, giving you a form and an easier way to appeal. But still, we were talking a little bit about that appeal process. So when you're doing an appeal, what are some of the key factors that you want to make mention of?
Well, when I appeal things, I mean, I've gotten and excuse my language, but I've gotten so pissed off at all these appeal processes that I pretty much get down straight to the point and mention the problem and say, like, are you guys crazy? Like, this is straight, this is not sexually explicit, this is not selling drugs, this is not violent, this is not abusive, or whatever other reason they want to say. And I just get straight to the point and say how it's not whatever they thought it was or said in their retraction of my ad. So that's pretty much the way I go.
I'm gonna go back a little bit further. See, you're answering what they say it was. In a lot of cases, they'll ban you and they don't even tell you why. They just say a disclaimer. You violated one of our guidelines, and then send you a link to the long list of guidelines. But they don't tell you which one it was. It's like, okay, so which one did I violate?
One of them.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. But usually the guidelines are in a certain aspect of something, right? You have to try to decipher which one, but you're right.
It's like you violated, clause 4C. We said if you're breathing when you place this ad, you are violating the breathing clause. It's like, I'm supposed to hold my breath and then do it. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. But I'm happy to say that even though this aspect of marketing is tough and it's getting harder with all the bans. I mean, marketing is so much more than just digital ads or just ads in general, whether you put them in Times Square or digital. And there's so many aspects and it's always growing. And I think that's the greatest part of it, whether it be, if you're doing B2C or B2B, and if you're going to conferences or you're putting up a show or you're going to the Oktoberfest in Germany and you're putting up a tent and I don't know, with some puppies that like aren't related to anything you do, but then you make that connection between the puppies and health. I mean, there's so many things to do and get around when something doesn't work. And I don't think it's enough to discuss all these possibilities here, but I mean, marketing in general, we've been talking about all the bad that there is, but there's tons and tons of good and creative processes that exist out there.
And I would agree with you on that. I would agree that it's so important to have an omni-channel marketing approach to where you're touching in very different ways and you can maneuver around and push them through a journey. So that's important. A lot of times when businesses are looking at marketing, they're looking at the shiny new toy and only one approach. And they confuse that with overall marketing. They're like, well, I do Facebook ads, so I'm marketing. Well, that's advertising, and yes, it is marketing, but that alone isn't enough, and the importance of, like you said, looking at how can you take it offline? How can you take it off of these platforms? How can you make it to where it's more of your control? You know, that's very important as well.
Right. And what platform? Many companies out there that I've seen, that I've consulted, they just say, oh, you know, we hear Facebook is the place to go and we have to do Facebook marketing or we have to do Google ads. And the answer is no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on your target audience and what you're selling or not selling and what you want to achieve. I mean, there's many different ways to achieve it, and to be just, you know, to hit the wall straightforward and do what
Yeah.
everyone else is doing is probably the wrong way to go.
That's the truth. Because by the time you start doing it, it's probably already been tapped out. Everybody's probably been pulled all the resource out of it.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So the little one's out from the pool.
So, yeah, please say hi. This is my daughter, Taylor. Oh, Taylor.
Look, she said, I'm cold. She had her fun.
Yeah,
so
she
that's
did.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's amazing. We were also talking about how these companies are leveraging the data to actually provide more relevant information when used correctly. You know, when used for evil, of course, they use to manipulate narrative to people based on different things. But you know, it's important for businesses to understand on a business side how you can, you know, retarget and control narrative based on your audience's behavior, things that they put in that you can gather. Now, some stuff you can't gather, but there's a lot of things you can get to know about your audience based on the information a lot of these platforms will give you. So that's, you know, that's the flip side. That's from the business side. And Yuval loves the business side of it, because I'm venting because, you know, now that I've been banned, I've got to give all this information that I never had to give before when I set up the account to appeal to get the account reactivated. And I'm like, why do you need to know my utility bills and this, that? I never had to do that before. You're just gathering information. But you had a great point on that with how businesses actually leverage the market better with that.
Right. Yeah, like I was mentioning before, and I'm glad you brought this up again, is that so long as these businesses and these huge corporations won't use it to an extent of violence or harming anyone, right? I mean, on the side of advertising and giving you what you need, we live, I mean, insignificantly amount of a better life than our grandparents did or great grandparents did, right? I mean, and this is not only due to technological advances, but just let's say in the internet era, the ability of these companies to know what we want, what we desire. And of course, this is also not really tapped out to a great extent. I think there's much better. I mean, I get ads all the time that aren't relevant to me still, but it's gotten so much better that really, like, they know what I want. Okay, so I'm going to be seeing a bunch of ads, hopefully, right? Not all of them, but of, like, you know, of Nike, like you said here, or people doing sports, or doing crazy outdoor activities, and buying tents, and, you know, just outdoor stuff. I'll love it. I'll probably spend more money if I see these ads than if I see ads like selling me, I don't know,
like Puma or some brand that you're not interested in. Yes.
Or something else, or like baby dolls, right? I'm not going to buy a baby doll, but I will buy shoes, running shoes, right? So I mean, and it's, again, it's not tapped out yet, and I think this is great because we live better lives, we live more comfortably, we get what we want, we see what we want, and of course, on this, I mean, it can also be a little bit dangerous on the side of that we only see what we know and want is not a good thing, right? And I think here we should never ever see that. And hopefully these companies won't let us just see what we want, because then we're not opening ourselves to new material, right? And I'm talking about either new products or also new ideas and new thoughts, right? We have to always be open to new things. And that's of course part of it. But to get that and to know what we want on a marketing level, I think it's brilliant, just like we do. And I'm in this industry to try to tell people a story and to try to tell them that if they get some product or they use this service, they're going to live happier, they're going to live better, they're going to have a better time when they're not feeling so well. And that message gets to exactly the people that need to hear that message. I think that's amazing. And that's the power of the data that they're using.
Yeah, and I agree. And to let everybody know, there's no getting around it. Everybody's collecting your data, whether it's your cell phone, your television, your social media. So the data is being collected, but understand that you are also getting fed your point of view. So sometimes you have to do the incognito windows. You have to get off the grid and then look for stuff to see another vantage point. I know a lot of times I'll talk to friends about that same incident, same event, or same product, and we see totally different narratives for the exact same thing. And it's amazing because you're like, wait a minute, that didn't happen like that, or that didn't, they don't sell that, or they don't do that. And they're like, no, I saw the ad, or I saw the post, or I saw the, and you're like, what post did you see? Because I saw this. And I remember one time there was an event here in Atlanta, and one person saw something completely different than what I saw for the exact same event. And we're up here arguing about it because he's like, no, I'm telling you, this is what's going on. And I'm like, no, I actually have somebody that's at the event. They're live streaming the event. I'm looking at it through their live stream. That is not happening. What are you talking about? And it's amazing. I've even, and I'll leave it at this. This is the funniest. I've had phone calls from my family in Virginia about things happening here in Atlanta that they've seen. And I live here in Atlanta, and they're like, man, this happened. And
sorry, I didn't hear you for a second. Can you repeat that?
Oh yeah, I was telling them about like the narrative, like from family members that aren't here in Atlanta. And they'll say, hey, is everything okay, man? We heard that this and that's happening in Atlanta. And I'm living here in Atlanta. I'm like, I've been out all day. No, none of that's happening. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, this is what we heard. And it's so funny because they're getting it from media. And from the media is telling them a tornado tore down Atlanta. And I'm outside like, it's not even windy. It's a beautiful day. What are you talking about?
It's
so true. It's amazing. Yeah.
But but the problem is, and I think I'm getting here into like I'm overstepping something, but I'm gonna go for it anyways. But this is what we see. We know as individuals that the media makes up stuff. They don't make it up maybe necessarily completely from scratch. Sometimes they do, many times they do. But a lot of times they exaggerate. Why? Because the media sells news, and to sell news, you need to exaggerate. So if I look at news of South Africa, where I have friends, I would never want to go there. I'm scared shitless. What am I going to do there? I'm going to get killed the moment I land. They'll say the same thing about Israel. They'll come to Israel. Why? There's a continuous war going on. I'll see the news of my parents living in Miami now. Oh, there's always hurricanes there. Yeah. But the truth is that it doesn't happen like the news presents it. But then we live now for the last year and a half with what's going on with COVID. And COVID, again, we can't take the media's word for what is going on because it's not. And we're not, I'm not even going to go to that. But it's funny, like suddenly in COVID, everyone says, okay, yes, that's what's happening.
But that's the funny part about it. What I've realized, see, you and I look at it from a marketer's point of view. So we're like, oh, that's brilliant. I see what they're doing. They're creating this narrative. But the average person, they don't look at it that way. They really truly believe that this is the truth and nothing but the truth. And it's amazing because even to the sense of using their own common sense. Like for instance, it's funny because like we'll use COVID. they'll say, wow, man, it's on the rise. You know, numbers are shooting up, blase, blase, blah. And I'll ask the question, but if the vaccine supposed to lower the amount, right? More people are vaccinated than before, than last year. The vaccine is supposed to also help prevent you from spreading it. And more people are vaccinated than last year. How are the numbers going up? There's not more people. You know what I'm saying? So there's the same amount of people. More people are vaccinated. More people are not spreading it because more people are vaccinated. More people are not getting it because more people are vaccinated. Then how are the numbers going up?
Yeah,
And
it's really,
they don't
it's
even think
puzzling.
about it. Yeah, they don't think
It's
about
puzzling.
it that way. They say, no, you know, I watched the news and the news said that the numbers are going up and we're about to get quarantined again. And it's like,
Right.
but
It's like when it's for something local, when it's something that they know, they'll be able to criticize the news, right? If you do any, you know, there's many surveys out there that ask people whether they trust the news on their local topics. And most people, they don't. Most people do not trust the news. Most people know that the news are exaggerating, but that's on the local topics they know about. When the news talks about something that they don't know about, they just believe it wholeheartedly and for no reason.
And sometimes even on a local level, I know people that have literally been at or lived through or experienced certain events, and the news will say one thing or social media will say one thing, and they'll say, yeah. And you're like, but you were there. Yeah, but they had to be right. But you were there. You know, I'm like, how do you not believe yourself? You literally question your own self because everyone else says this is what happened. And it's kind of amazing. Like, for instance, give you a prime example. We won't use the names, but give you a prime example. I was consulting a company one time that said that they were up 200% year over year in profits. They also gave bonuses to upper management. A week later, they downsized 2 departments, saying that they had to downsize because of budget. How? You're 200% over what you expected to make. You also gave huge bonuses to your executive team, saying that you had a surplus of profits, but yet you downsize, and these people believe they really downsize us because we're strapped for money. You just sit in a meeting where they said, we're making more money than we expected. And it's like, you don't even believe your own experience because of the narrative that's been told you. And it's amazing how many people really do that. But in marketing, you realize that. You're like, you know, if I tell it from an authority and I tell it enough times, I can make you believe what I want you to believe, even if it goes against what you truly believe, because most people don't even know why they believe a lot of stuff. They really don't know. They just believe stuff. Like, we all believed that the world was flat at one point until enough people said, no, it's round. And then we believed it's round. I just heard this past year that people now believe that it's not round, it's actually under a dome. I've never been in space to look down at the earth and say, yeah, you're right, or no, you're not. I don't know. But the funny thing is, if enough people say that and they start teaching it in school, the next generation will say, no, the earth is on a dome, in a dome. It's in a dome. And we'll be like, no, that's crazy. You know, that's crazy because it's round. It's always been round, but that's what we've been told all our life.
We've been told, yeah. I mean, it goes even to the theory of evolution, right? Yeah. I mean, if I ask you, right, the theory of evolution, that's what happened, right?
Right.
Hey,
Everybody will say,
okay. But I mean, just look at the name. The name in itself, it's a theory. It's not proven, right?
Exactly.
If you're religious and you believe in God, then you won't believe in the theory of evolution.
Yeah.
Right. And there's lots of, I mean, and even in itself. So it's like, it's exactly like you said. And, you know, on the marketing side of things, if we're speaking about marketing, I mean, you can use these techniques for the good or for the bad. Hopefully people will use them for the good. But I mean, there's these tests, right? You have these tests that you can see a sneaker and I'll tell you that it's colored yellow and you'll tell me that it's colored pink. and
Yeah.
we'll be looking at the same sneaker and we'll see two different colors. Or there's the test of the sound, right? There's one, it's a vibrating sound, and I'll hear a word, right? I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what
I
word. I'll
love
hear
that
like
test. Yes, I love that
mama, and
test.
you'll hear chaka. And it's like, it's
Yep.
insane how we can be listening to the same thing and hear different things. Of course, in marketing, it's trying to tune into that. And of course, get people to see what you want them to see. But of course, my advice, and as an ethical, moral person, everyone, hopefully everyone will be able to do this on an ethical level for the right reasons and promote their service, their products that really deliver value. And you can
Yeah.
use these things like we've always been done. It's not just on the internet, like we said before, right? Coca-Cola and all these huge brands have done it with the subconscious marketing on TV ads and everywhere else. And it's okay. Just
Yeah.
do it for the right reason. And as a consumer, always know when you're hearing something, check it before you take it as a
Just
fact.
exactly. And I love those tests you said, because I've seen those tests on social, and I've even tried to trick the test. And you can't
Right.
even trick the test, because they'll show you two different things, and they'll say, look at it, and they'll say, this is what you're going to believe. And all of a sudden, when you look at it again, you be like, yeah. But then you say, no, I'm not going to look at this one. I'm going to keep looking, and you can't do it. It's like that suggestion. Yep. You cannot do it. And if they say that sneaker is pink, it could be blue all day, but you're just going to see pink for some reason, even though you're telling your mind, no, I'm going to see blue. I'm going to see blue. I'm going to see blue. And then all of a sudden they'll come back and they'll say, now the sneaker's blue. And you'll be like, no, it's pink. It's been pink. It's been pink. And it'll be blue. It's crazy, yep. But it does work. Crazy. It does work.
Crazy world.
Yeah. But man, so that's the story of the day right there. That's the lesson of the day, is to understand that marketing definitely has its ways, good and bad. Just understand, if you're a marketer, that you can use different techniques. Hey, the platforms are not always your friend. So understand that there are things that you might need to do just in case you get banned, whether you did something or not. And then also, as a consumer, understand that the narratives that you're hearing may be true or may be made up, but it's up to you to actually think for yourself and figure out what makes sense to you. So that's really the story of the day.
That
and I'm
sums it
still
up.
mad about getting banned. I'm still mad. I'm still mad because I'm like, now I got to spend some time to figure out what's going on for an account that I don't even leverage.
Now we get to go back and fight the fight.
Exactly. And it's funny, for an account that I don't even leverage. That's what makes it even worse. It's like, it's not even something that's critical.
Right.
But
the ways
cool.
of the world. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. I mean, it was a pleasure meeting you, speaking to you before the schedule, after, during, everything. Yes. I mean, pleasure speaking. I hope we keep in touch.
Yes, we definitely should. And thank you so much for being on and, sharing the wisdom. And it was a great conversation. We should have recorded beforehand. We should have recorded beforehand. That was on me. I should have just went on and pressed record, but yes.
It's great conversation. I hope we covered it afterwards.
Yes, yes. And also thank your daughter for allowing us the opportunity to have this conversation, because I know she was
she was very well behaved. Very well behaved. I think she deserves a prize. She's going to get a prize, right? Oh, now we finally got a smile off of her.
That's great. That is great. Well, everybody, this has been another marketing strategy session. As always, give us your opinion in the comments. Let us know what you think. Good, bad, and different. We just want to know what you think so we can provide you with better content. So we'll be signing off, and we definitely thank you for taking your time to spend with us today.